Amazon automation, it has been around a long time, but there's definitely some questionable characters in the space that have tarnished the reputation of having someone build an Amazon business for you and have it become a passive method of income for you as someone who wants to take advantage of the Amazon platform, but you don't want to put in the 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day of effort that it actually takes to build a business. This is where having someone build it for you comes in handy, but the people that are charging $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 or more, some of these guys are charging, that have maybe 1, 2, 3 years experience, that's a little bit of a red flag to me, the high price with the low experience. So some of the first things you need to look for is going to be someone that has 5 to 10 years experience. As you know, there's not a lot of things that you can compare to experience. If I have a car salesman that's trying to sell me a car and they started last month and they have no idea about cars or how to sell cars, and then I have someone who's been selling cars their entire life, like 20 years, and then I have those two people approach me on the car lot, I'm gonna almost immediately be able to distinguish the difference in skill set and knowledge base between those two people. Now, there's nothing wrong with giving the sale of the car I'm there to buy anyways to the new guy. But if I have very specific questions that I need answered, I'm most likely gonna go to the guy with the experience. The basic things you need to look for is experience, they're not overcharging, and they actually know what they're talking about. I've talked to a few clients recently because I've been doing Amazon almost a decade, and I have people that come from these bad past experiences and they've paid 30, 40, 50 grand. One client I spoke to recently said the service was $45,000 and they also take 70% of the profit share. So they're giving you 30%, but also charging you $45,000 up front. Here's the thing, the reason why a lot of the done-for-you service providers charge $40,000, $50,000 is because comparatively to a person who understands investing, right? Real estate investing, investing in stocks, dividends, ETFs, normally your ROI is 3 to 5 years, right? 3 years is actually really fast. So when someone charges you $40,000 for a done-for-you Amazon service, knowing you can probably make that in the first couple of years, maybe 2, 3 years, that's why they're able to charge that $40,000, $50,000 price, because they know, well, it's still a good investment comparatively. But here's the conundrum. I've been doing Amazon for a decade. Let's say I haven't been. If I was to go out and look for someone that I wanted to pay to build an Amazon business for me, knowing what I know now, would I be willing to pay someone $40,000 or $50,000? If I was willing to go as far as paying 40 to 50 grand, would I be willing to give up more than half the profit? In every single universe that I could possibly live in, doesn't matter what parallel dimension I am in, I would never ever agree to that. Now that's the shitty thing for you guys as people who are looking for a done-for-you service provider. Well, this is pretty much all that's out there. Right? There's not a lot of people out there that are charging a valuable, justified price. Some of these guys that are providing the service don't even know how to do Amazon. They don't even have their own store. They're just outsourcing everything to virtual assistants overseas. They have no locally based management team. They don't have anyone they got to pay a salary to. They don't have any way of actually managing this stuff in person. That is the risk you take when just blatantly finding someone that, you get on a call with them and all they do is sit there the whole time pressuring you to buy. Right? That's another red flag. If you get on a call with a done-for-you service provider, they try to pressure you and constantly bug you. They want to sell you first, give you the price later. So they want to be able to justify their outrageous price before they show you it. So if you ask me, hey Kev, what's the price of your service? There's this profit share is this price, this profit share is this price. There you go. This should be standard business practice. But as we know, a lot of people do not operate that way. And it's sad. Having this high pressure sales strategy, it's crazy that it still works on people. And these are the people I feel bad for. Like you got pressured into overpaying for something, and normally you're overpaying for junk. Like it's garbage. They're doing it wrong. They're not actually paying attention to the growth of your business, or they're doing drop shipping from retail suppliers, which has been against Amazon policy for years. Like there's just so many things that can go wrong, but when it can go right, that's most likely what you're here for. In terms of my service, we have a North American-based management team. I have multiple employees that I pay full-time salaries for. These people are extremely hard to find and even harder to keep. So will I scale my done-for-you service to hundreds and hundreds or like 1,000 or plus clients? No, depending when it is. You're watching this video, my done-for-you service doors might already be closed because I don't want to overwhelm my management team. Now, if I was to do what everybody else does and charge 40, 50 grand and just outsource everything overseas and pay zero attention to what actually is going on with my client stores, the quality of work is going to go down. The client results are going to go down. It can end up being a disaster like a lot of these guys end up experiencing by basically not doing things properly and not being willing to put some skin in the game. So in my case, as of right now, it costs me about $22,000 a month to run this service for my clients. and I charge less than 20K for the service itself. It's one of the lowest fees in existence for a done-for-you service provider from someone who has almost a decade experience. And knowing that I've been on Amazon for almost a decade, you're probably thinking, Kevin, just give me the good stuff. How does it actually work in terms of a real ROI? What can we expect if we pay someone that has the experience, etc.? There's multiple ways that you can sell on Amazon. Private label via dropship, which I don't really know many people that do that. But private label done-for-you service or a private label automation service, I would never in my life pay someone to build a private label brand for me unless I was working hand in hand with them, almost like a done with you / done for you process. And if I ever was to allow someone to build a private label brand for me, I would definitely be needing to ask them, show me your products or show me some client results, like show me some stores that are already doing well. Private label is a very difficult business on Amazon to build, although a lot of people do well. Majority of people actually fail. So if someone's gonna build a private label brand for you, it needs to be done by someone who really knows what they're doing. If I was to pay someone for a private label done for you service, I'd be looking to pay 15 to 20K, and I'd be looking to make sure they got a lot of experience. And I would also hope they would be open and honest with me about how much it's gonna cost. You're gonna be spending $5,000 to $10,000 in advertising per product, and not every single product is going to be a winning product. So if you don't have like $40,000, $50,000 just for an advertising budget to see success in the first 1 to 2 years, it's not a realistic thing for you to do. You can start with a lot less if you do it on your own, but knowing that not every single product is going to be a winner, that means your first product, it's not going to be 100% chance of it being a winner. No matter how good your mentor is, no matter how good you are at product research, product sourcing, pricing strategies, all the things that it takes to become a good private label seller, there's no way to guarantee your very first product will be a winner. So if you're going to spend 5, 8, 10, 12 grand in advertising on that first product, trying to get it ranked and selling to eventually turn off the ads one day so your product can sell organically, your chances are like 15 to 20%. Eventually you will end up with a winner, and you can do your best to keep costs down. But if you really want to be able to tap into the Amazon algorithm and get your product ranked with below 10,000 or below 5,000 sales rank where it's selling multiple times a day, you need to dump the money into PPC when it comes to the private label stuff. Or you can do the volume scaling method, which I talk about in one of my previous videos. But again, the done for you service is what we're here talking about. So yes, would you pay someone to build a private label business for you? I would highly recommend against it. The one I recommend against the most is people that are doing drop shipping, especially from retail suppliers. If you're looking at a done for you service provider that does drop shipping, ask what the sources are, what suppliers do you use, give me a couple examples. And the two-step drop shipping, which is where you order from the supplier, but then you have an intermediary warehouse, like a third-party logistic warehouse, and they take the Walmart packaging off it, they put it in a blank box and send it to the customer within that expected 3 to 4 day handling time, etc. Since drop shipping is almost not allowed on Amazon anymore, this is kind of like the next step that these people have gone to kind of make sure clients who haven't had results with the drop shipping are able to still do it. But the downside is, again, not sustainable for the long term, because at the tail end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, Amazon is now starting to suspend these stores. You could do this on Walmart, but again, sustainability, I can't see beyond 1 to 2 years from now. If it is 2 years from now still being done well on Walmart, I'll be surprised. On Amazon, any seller that makes it past 6 months to a year, I'm going to be blown away. It's just a riskier business model, and I highly recommend against any type of drop shipping on Amazon. The best methodology is going to be wholesale FBA, buying and selling brand name products, but you're buying from thousands and thousands and thousands of North American and European and whatever based suppliers that carry all these really large brand name items. Wholesale FBA and reselling these brand name items, you don't need a marketing budget. You're not spending any money on advertising. You're just essentially researching items that are already selling and already ranked on Amazon. There's over 4 million of these products on the North American Amazon marketplace that sell every week to every day and multiple times a day. So anything within that 4 or so million products in North America that are selling regularly, these are the products that you want to sell. Instead of having to spend all that time and build the business yourself, right? It's going to cost more to pay a done-for-you service provider, so it's going to be a bit longer to get your initial ROI. But once you've crossed that ROI, once you have it back, it's just pure profit at this point, right? Even with the profit share and a few $100s a month in overhead, let's say it's been a year and a half, now you're making $6,000 a month gross profit, and let's say 4,000 of the 6,000 goes to you. That's a $4,000 a month profit now, and you're in the green, you got your ROI, and you've spent no time at all. So instead of spending 1.5 years building this business yourself, you've leveraged an expert and their logistics, their infrastructure, and you just get to sit back and kind of watch it happen. Now, it might sound amazing and awesome and perfect, but it's not, because you have to understand you need patience. It does not happen overnight. Building any business from scratch, including an Amazon FBA business, it takes time to build it. You're not just going to jump in and the next month be rich, right? It takes time to build it. Is there a limit to how big you can build an Amazon business? There isn't a limit to how large we can scale a client store. The only limits are going to be how much working capital does a client have. Amazon is a numbers game. And we do about a 25 to 45% monthly turnover based on what the client has in available working cap. If you have $50,000 that you can use towards the business, how much money in a month can you generate in revenue? So 25 to 45% on average. So let's just say conservatively 25%. 25% of 50K is like $7,000 or $8,000 a month in revenue, which would be $700 to $1,500 a month in profit, depending on your margins on the products at any given time. Now, a lot of the time we have like a 30, 40% turnover. I like to say 25 to 45 because sometimes, 6 months in or a year in, we might have clients floating around the 25 to 30% monthly turnover mark. But we do have clients in the 40 and some over 50% monthly turnover. It all just really depends how fast certain items are selling at any given point. Just having 50K, right? Once that 50K is fully deployed, and you're doing around $20,000 a month in revenue, that's a $2,000 or $3,000 a month business. So when do you get your ROI? Well, if you paid $20,000 for the service fee, and then you got 50K for the business, and you use 50K, after 1 year, maybe you made 10 or 15 grand gross profit the first year, maybe you made 20. But let's be conservative again. You made 15 in 12 months. Then month 12 to month 24, you don't add any more money, you just use the 50 original K, maybe you invest a little bit of the profit here and there. Well, in your second year, if you're doing $2,000 a month every month in profit, that's 25 grand a year. Your ROI is gonna come long before 2 years if you'd paid 20 grand. If you paid 30 or 40 grand, it's gonna take you longer. If you pay an annual renewal fee, it's going to take you even longer. These are the things you need to understand when it comes to how does an Amazon business work? What's the ROI like? What's the turnover like? This is all the information that I can give you, and I really, really hope that it's helped you. Again, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below or just reach out to me on Instagram or social media and we can chat about it. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.